All right, what's up everybody? Doing a super simple video today, just a classic Q&A. I have a lot of fun, funny, mean, just all over the place questions today that I'm excited to answer. I'm going to attempt to just do them all in one take, just a super candid response, cover a wide variety of topics, and that's about it. So let's get started. All right, so this first question is, how does competitive eating fit into your fitness goals or plan? And okay, I think I want to answer this two ways. So the first one is, when I already do a competitive eating challenge, how do I account for that in order to stay in shape? So I really like to do bodybuilding, running as two main hobbies. So if I'm going to do a competitive eating challenge, let's say the ice cream challenge I did in Minneapolis, it was close to 10,000 calories in one sitting. How do I account for that? How do I stay in shape? So as I'm preparing for one of these challenges, typically I'll fast the day before in order to just be empty enough and hungry enough to eat the meal. So that's 0 calories on that day. And then I'll eat 10,000 calories when I do the challenge. And then the next day, I probably won't eat at all because I'm not hungry. So over the course of those 3 days, it's really like 3,000 calories per day, which for me is about the amount of calories I need to maintain my weight. So then if I'm in a little bit of a caloric deficit the rest of the days of the week and then still exercising like I normally do, I can actually end up losing weight that week. So that's kind of how I account for it. And then I don't do these things all of the time. So then the other way I want to address this question is, how does it fit into the plan? Well, it really doesn't fit in perfectly. And what I mean by that is, with fitness, if I eat a huge meal like that, or if I'm fasted the day before and fasted the day after, it really fucks with my energy levels. And to be honest, I just feel like shit like the whole time. Like the whole training period and then doing the meal and then afterwards I feel awful. So I'm feeling pretty bad in the period before, during, and after doing one of these challenges. That's why I always have tried to never do more than one a month, and really I only end up doing a couple a year at this point because it really messes with my energy levels. That being said, they're fun to do here and there. They can kind of serve as a cheat meal and help me kind of replenish, recover, and feel like I don't have to eat these cheat meals all the time because I can do something like 10 pounds or 8 pounds of a bowl of Vietnamese pho, let's say, for example. All that to be said, because I do these challenges infrequently, it really doesn't hinder my fitness program too much. If I do 5 challenges or 10 challenges in a year, that's so few days out of the year that if I'm on track the rest of the days of the year, then I'm doing well. I can stay lean and stay in shape. Next question, what gives you a mood boost when you're feeling down? This is a super timely question for me, actually, because I recently have a new solution, and that is that with my friends on Spotify, we decided that we were all going to create a playlist of our top 100 favorite songs of all time, or right now. So now I have a playlist of my 100 favorite songs. So if I'm feeling down and I want a quick mood boost, throwing that on while like taking a shower, for instance, is super helpful for me. So that's one tip I'd actually just encourage all of you guys to do if you don't already have something like that. And then the next one is, if I need a mood boost or I'm feeling a little bit off, is actually journaling. So I do this system called the 5-minute journal. I learned it through Tim Ferriss. If you type in 5-minute journal online, you can find it. And it's just a few prompts that kind of get me feeling grateful again and get more structured. Because usually when I'm down, it's because I'm not achieving the things I want to be achieving, whether that's with work or goals or people. And so doing this journaling system just kind of helps me get back on track. And then that's more of a longer term mood boost solution. So that's the answer there. Next question. Why do you suck so much? Um, you know, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry if I upset you. But if you think you know the answer, leave it down in the comments below. I'm curious to know. All right, this one's a fun one. What are the poops like? So this is definitely in reference to competitive eating and the aftermath of doing a challenge. So the heaviest challenge I've done is 8 pounds, but that was more of a liquidy challenge. So that was Vietnamese pho. But then I've done some challenges that are more sugary, like over 100 Oreos. I've done some ice cream challenges, a lot of pizza challenges. What are the poops like? God, I want to save you some of the the details because it could be aggressive. What I will say is that they are often, so very frequent after doing a challenge, and contrary to popular belief, it doesn't just all leave at once. Usually it is a 1 to 3 day process of getting everything out of the system. And I wouldn't say that they're any more painful or uncomfortable than others. They can be sometimes depending on the food. But it's just more of like a longer duration of not feeling good and an increased frequency in the poops. If you want more detail, I can elaborate. Maybe in a different video. I'm going to keep it at there for now, though. Next question. How can I be as jacked as you? You can't. Okay. What are your guilty pleasures? Not too much as of lately. Obviously, I love ice cream and cheat meals and things like that. One guilty pleasure, though, that was very prevalent in the last few years, especially my junior and senior year of college, is playing the video game Super Smash Brothers. So the one that came out for, I believe it's the Switch, so Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Played that a ton. I was a King DDD main along with secondarying a little bit of Richter. And I have refused to let myself buy a Nintendo Switch since I've moved to my adult life because as fun as it is, it can take a lot of time and I want my time to go elsewhere. So every once in a while, still as a guilty pleasure, I'll actually watch some of the esports tournaments for Super Smash Brothers on YouTube. I'd say that's my guilty pleasure. That or enjoying a really good movie with some ice cream, popcorn, and candy. All right, this one's submitted by my own father, and I had to write it down. So he said, what is it like having your parents live 4,411 miles from you? Because, as I mentioned, they live in Switzerland. What is that like? Well, they've lived there for 5 years. In summary, Mom, Dad, Jackson, I miss you. I will say, though, after graduating high school is when my parents moved to Switzerland, so my duration of college is when they lived there. And, you know, it made me appreciate family a lot more. So it's been a super positive thing, and having them live in Switzerland is honestly awesome. I've had like the best vacation spot to go to with free housing because they live there. But with the 6-hour time change, it makes it hard to call them. So long story short, can't wait till they come back, and I think it's overall a great experience that they did live 4,411 miles away. But yeah, that's that. What is the most weight you've gained after an eating challenge? So I know I've mentioned this a few times, but it's actually that 8-pound bowl of Vietnamese pho. On that day, I was pretty lean in the first place. So obviously I finished the 8-pound bowl, but because the pho, the broth I had to drink and finish was so salty that any water I drank the rest of the day, I was finding myself kind of retaining it because I had so much sodium in my body. And I believe from the morning of that day to the end of that night, I was up within one day somewhere in the range of 10 to 12 pounds. So I think that's the most I've gained in one day. I think there was also an instance where it wasn't necessarily from an eating challenge, but I was very lean before I went on a cruise, and then it was all you can eat, all you can drink, and I kind of let myself do what I want to do. And I think by the end of it, I was 13 or 15 pounds heavier. For me, my weight can fluctuate a lot, and a lot of it's water weight, so it's not permanent weight gain. When I gained like the 10 to 12 pounds from the bowl of pho, really a week later, I'm right back to the same weight. So you have to remember that it's not permanent like fat gain or anything like that. What's your favorite cheat meal? There are so many foods I love. If I had to pick one, it's definitely involving ice cream. I think going to Cold Stone and getting a huge ice cream where it's like the Oreo filling ice cream, but then I mix in a brownie. And that's just like a cheat item. If I get to call it a whole meal, then that's dessert. And then dinner is like some gigantic steak with like potatoes on the side maybe. That's an option. And then I'd have sushi as an appetizer. I don't even know if you can do that. Does that kind of surf and turf? Those are all some of my favorite foods. So as a cheat meal, I'd say I'd group a lot of those together. But even something as simple as going to the movie theater with a huge tub of popcorn, watermelon strawberry patch kids, and a beverage, I don't know, anything, Coke slushy. I don't even drink soda, but that sounds good with that. That's also one of my favorite cheat meals too. What is on your bucket list? I could make an entire video out of this one too, so let me just list off a few that are top of mind. I really want to do what Tim Ferriss calls mini retirements, where throughout your life you take several months off of life. My company offers a sabbatical program, so I think that'd be a cool way to exercise this option, where you move to a different country and you take some time off. So for instance, I would love to do something like live in Japan for a few months and learn a skill that's intellectual, maybe something like working at learning the language a little bit, and then also a physical skill, whether it's martial art or surfing or even cooking. Those type of things come to mind. So those mini retirements are on my bucket list. I'd love to learn an instrument, another language, become a better cook. I need to learn how to dance. I'm horrible at dancing, so that's on my bucket list. And then some travel destinations, which I guess brings me to another question that I saw on there was, what are some of your top travel destinations or places you want to go? So I've traveled a lot. I've been to, I believe, 19 countries. And as I travel, I found that I personally don't enjoy big cities and museum style history focused trips as much as I do the naturey and outdoorsy trips. So top of mind, I'd love to do like one of those week-long guided hikes to like Patagonia or like Machu Picchu or something in South America like that. That's up there. There is some urban places I want to go to, especially big cities in Japan. I think Tokyo would be incredible. That's super high up there. And then Iceland, Australia, those are some of the top places that I have on my list. All right, and the very last question, because this one's a little bit deeper. I think it's framed something like this though. Other than buy crypto, what advice would you give to yourself on the last day of school? So I'm gonna interpret this first as the last day of high school, since that's further removed. So last day of high school, I think the advice I'd give to myself is say yes to everything, almost everything, except like drugs, obviously. But I would say that because I think I held myself back from doing potentially fun things and hanging out with friends more often because as a self-proclaimed high achiever, I thought I had to spend all of my time studying or being productive or going to the gym and spending all of my time doing that. Now, not at all do I regret studying and going to the gym. However, I think that I could have done more things early on, especially like my freshman and sophomore year of college, instead of being so worried about all of the things I thought I had to do. Now, if I were to do advice for myself on the last day of college, so my actual last day of school, which was a year ago, I'm not that far removed, so I don't exactly know what I would say. But I think it would be something like everything you do, try to do with 100% focus. So especially working from home, it's super easy to get distracted by my phone or other things. Working, I have my best days when I turn my phone completely off and I'm 100% focused on work at that time. Or if I'm at the gym, I have my phone away the whole time and I don't check it in between sets. I'm 100% focused. Or if I'm with friends, to be 100% focused on that and not worried about work or other things. I think it's very important as a recent college graduate to understand that it's very beneficial to separate work and friends and work and hobbies and things like that. There's some people that will check work in the middle of the gym or hang out with friends, and I think mentally that's taxing and becomes very hard to focus and be good at things. So I think that's the advice I would give to myself. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time doing this, and feel free to leave more questions in the comments. I'll absolutely answer them in the future. And if you enjoyed this style of video or want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys all have a fantastic week ahead.